Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the exponential age of crypto. So the world is changing so fast right now that it's hard to understand what to even do in this space and how to navigate it. And I think a lot of people entering crypto are kind of missing the bigger picture of what's happening in the world and why crypto is important. And because of that, people kind of rush in and buy stuff that they don't know what it is, and that ends up getting them hurt. So the reason why I wanted to start with this talk was because those who understand this exponential age and the shift that's happening in the world are going to be the ones who benefit from this whole process. And the people who don't understand are kind of resistant to it are the people who are going to get hurt in the process, right? So we're going to show you how to navigate this world, how to have a bigger picture and understand what's going on in a way so that you can conceptualize what's going on, but then also looking at this transition, we're going to look at the future of what's coming. We're going to look at actionable things you can do to actually benefit from this whole process, right? So let's get started. If you don't know me, my name is Sim, like a SIM card or a simulation or an Indonesian driver's license if you're in Indonesia. I started by consulting people on how not to lose all their money in crypto. And then we transitioned to companies starting to need that same kind of help. Then governments came and they needed the same kind of help. And now I'm an ambassador to the Global Blockchain Business Council, which is an arm of the World Economic Forum. I'm helping the Indonesian government build their frameworks. I'm helping a few different governments help their frameworks, and we're helping the government of China with the Belt and Road Initiative in this space. So I feel like I have a lot of value to add in that perspective. But my kind of core in life is to work directly with people and help them navigate the space in a way that allows them to benefit and not get hurt in the space, right? So I keep saying the word exponential age. What does that mean, right? What's happening right now is that technology is shifting the way that the world works and the way that economies work. The idea of exponential age started back when the internet started, right? Because before the internet, the way the economy of the world worked was that you could do two things to set up a business. You could build goods, or you could provide services for people who need, right? You could build something that's valuable to people and give it to them, and then they would pay you. Or you could provide services which are valuable to people, and then they would pay you for the services. With the beginning of the internet, a new value model came along. And this value model was a exponential value model, but it's based on a law called Metcalfe's law. And that's where instead of building a good or a service, you could build a network, right? So if you think about it, Google built just one website, but built a network of 1 billion people, and that one website could help 1 billion people for basically the same price that it could help 1 million people. Facebook built a network. They built one website, and the network around Facebook became the value that Facebook has. That's why these companies became worth $1 trillion, whereas Ford still isn't worth $1 trillion. And they build cars which are valuable to people, right? So that new way of adding value to people's lives is a network-based value model. That allowed value to be added exponentially. So like Ford needs to build more cars in order to add value. And they can only build more and more cars as the infrastructure scales. So they can only do that in a linear manner. They have to build one car, then 100 cars. But they can't go from 100 to 1,000 to 10,000 to 1 million cars. They have to slowly go on a linear scale. Whereas Google could go from 1 user to 1 million user in a day if they wanted. And it could go to 1 billion users in no time at all, right? So the growth rate of companies became exponential because they figured out ways to set up internet websites and apps that could exponentially help people. I know this is getting a little confusing, but that's the idea of the exponential age, that we moved into a world where one person with one laptop in one place could help 1 billion people do something, where in the old world that wasn't possible. Now, what that did in a big way was it shifted how the world works. In the old world, you had to deploy a ton of money and a ton of resources to be able to make money because you had to provide a ton of services and a ton of goods. In this world, it became almost free for you to do this because one person with one laptop after they buy the laptop and pay for the internet, could do this for free, right? Now we're going through the next stage of the internet, right? So that internet was basically a bunch of guys got a bunch of computers together and programmed it with a website or app that was very valuable. And then because those guys own the computers, Google owns the computers, Google makes all the money, right? Crypto and blockchain is a new stage of the internet, where instead of hooking up all the computers in one place, we're hooking up computers in all the different places. That's what decentralization is as an idea, right? Now, all of us run computers in different places, and all the people who own the computers and run the computers get added value added to their life, right? Now, if somebody's running a bunch of computers and paying for electricity, they need to be paid, right? Google used to get paid in dollars. Now, in this new world, whoever's running the computer gets paid in these coins called crypto. So that is how crypto fits into the internet base. Crypto is the next stage of the internet, basically. It's just a new way to connect computers. People don't understand this, right? So what people do is people go, I want to buy a crypto, and they just go out and buy any old random crypto, and they don't know what it does. If you buy cryptos that don't do anything, or they're useless, or you don't understand what they do, then it's probably a scam. Something like Bitcoin, like you were saying, is valuable because there's computers running everywhere, and they all have this coin that you need to pay for the computer. And we've all agreed that it's valuable because it's a place for us to keep our money. Therefore, it's valuable, right? That's a good use case for this new computer system. We're bringing it back to the exponential age. This is now making technology grow at faster and faster rates, right? Instagram took months to get to 100 million users. TikTok took a lot fewer months to get to 100 million users. ChatGPT took a month to get to 100 million users. So technology is being deployed at a faster and faster rate. And the world changes so fast in that process that it's hard to even keep up with. So that brings us to the point of, okay, this exponential age isn't just websites and apps. We just invented AI. We just invented a God-level intelligence that the moment it was handed to people, 100 million people started using it within the first month. I was one of those people, right? The exponential age is getting even faster when you add in the ability for this God-level intelligence to be used by everybody. Because now that same person on the same laptop isn't just building a website. They can be a lawyer. When they need legal, the AI does the legal. When they need creative, the AI does creative. When they need design, the AI does design. So now it's speeding up that a single person's ability to change the world and add value to people's lives, right? So the way to think about it is, if the exponential age is the new stage of the internet and the new stage of humanity, AI is the brain. We've reinvented the brain, and we've reinvented wisdom and made that wisdom free for anybody to use. Robotics is going to become the body. So it's going to basically make it free for you to have an infinite number of bodies, free beyond actually building the AI. We call it marginally free. So in the exponential age, wisdom became free through AI. Work with physical bodies is becoming free through robotics. The metaverse is basically a new digital universe that we're creating. So spaces and universes are becoming effectively free. And the Apple Pro just launched, Vision Pro just launched. And that's going to allow us to go into these worlds where I need this building to do a presentation. Somebody needs to pay for the building. In that universe, in the metaverse universe, I will have an infinite number of buildings for me to do work with it. Plus, I'll have a God-level intelligence to do it with me. Plus, I'll have robots that can do work at my house while I'm doing this, right? Metaverse is this concept of us going into digital worlds. Augmented reality is a world where those digital representations come out into the physical world, right? So then how fast does the world change when these God-level intelligences are sitting next to me, and you'll watch them sitting next to me, and we'll have a conversation? When it's not just humans changing the world, it's these entities that we all see changing the world. At the same time, if augmented reality is bringing the digital stuff into the physical world, we're working on real world asset tokenization. which is taking real world stuff, tokenizing it, and then representing it in the digital world. So that's all real estate is going to be turned into a token and represented digitally. We already did it with farms. We're taking farm productivity and turning it into a digital representation. We're doing it with, commodity supply chains and turning it into a digitally represented token and putting that into the metaverse. And actually, NFTs are a way to take something digital and create something physical and create a digital copy and put it into this metaverse. The first thing they did it with was art, right? Art, everybody understands, everybody wants to own. So in this digital world, we will want to have physical stuff. So the real world asset tokenization takes this real world and puts it into the digital world. Now, in that digital world, where we meet digitally, we have God level intelligence, we have robots doing work, we have tokenized versions of real world stuff put into the digital world, value moves automatically because now there's no people involved, right? People are just the ones who are witnessing all this happen. But if the robots are working, how are they paying? How are they getting paid? Digitally. If we're in the metaverse doing work and doing all this stuff, how is that value getting paid? Digitally. When you watch like the metaverse video that Mark Zuckerberg did, there was a piece in there that a lot of people missed. He's walking, him and his friends are hanging out on like some space station, right? Floating around as robots and stuff. And one of their friends is walking on the street and she goes, hey, video calls them and goes, hey, I just saw this art piece on the wall, check it out. And she throws it into the metaverse and they all start seeing this 3D art piece in the world. And then it starts to disappear and he goes, let me quickly pay the artist so we can see it further. And he transfers value to the artist and the art piece pops up again. So to experience somebody's art for a certain period of time, you will have to pay. But most of the valuable things that will happen in this digital world, people will have to pay. How does that payment happen? Crypto. So crypto is the virtual transfer mechanism that's built for this digital reality. And what we call digital today is like, oh, there's a screen and it's digital. This is physical. In this new world, all of that's going to meld together. You're not going to know where the digital ends and the physical begins. And that line is going to just stop existing. Location as a concept is going to stop existing because we can go anywhere, whenever we want. My point is, in this exponential age, with these technologies, reality becomes completely different. And in that reality, money moves automatically and digitally. And that movement of money is what we're talking about when we say crypto. Some people might use Bitcoin, some people might use Solana, some people might use different things. Depending on which computer system they're using to run their digital world, they will pay using the coin that's required in that ecosystem. That's where crypto fits in. That's why crypto doesn't make sense to this world. People are like, why did a coin called Bitcoin go from 0.8 of a penny to $70,000? Why? It's because it's not built for this world. It's built for a future world where $70,000 isn't that much money. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. That's the overview of this whole thing. In this transition to this new world that I just described, the economy, the way we understand it today, 100% completely shifts. Okay, and we're going to go into the details of that in a second. But the way our economy works today will look nothing like the way that the economy in this future looks. And I'm talking about 7 years. Within the next 7 years, money as a concept will be completely different. Economy will be completely different. And that's why they keep saying, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. Okay? Because in that world, owning things becomes pointless. Earning money becomes pointless. And we're going to go into the details of that. So what am I talking about? If you look at the game of money today, what we call the economy, it's built around a very simple concept. You have to do something that's valuable for somebody's life, so valuable that they pay you this thing called money. That's the simple gist of it, right? But if you really dig into the details of it, in order for you to provide a good or a service or even build a network-based model, here's what you do. You take energy, you combine it with productive units, right? You take energy and you apply it. And then there's people who are the productive units that actually do the work. And they take natural resources or materials and they do something with it. So you either build stuff or you provide services. That's how the world works today, right? In this future, we already talked about robots will do work for free, effectively, in our world. So productive units, which is people, is the most expensive part of a business. I'm sure you know that. People cost you the most in a business. In that world, you will have God-level intelligence built into a robot that's smarter than people, nicer than people, works harder than people, is just better than people in every single way, providing the service inside of your restaurant or business or whatever. Energy cost is going to almost zero. So energy is about to become free. And there's a lot of technologies in the work, but energy cost is going marginally zero or almost zero. So energy becomes free and people working become free, right? Now, materials is the only cost that's left. That's why all these billionaires are going to space. They're planning on pulling down asteroids that are worth 10,000 quadrillion dollars of metals and everything that we need. So resources are going to be made free. Productive units are going to be made free. Brain power is going to be made free. Creativity is going to be made free. Energy is going to be made free. In that journey, and please watch this thing called The Third Industrial Revolution by Jeremy Rifkin. He explains this in beautiful detail. In that world, where all these things become free, it actually becomes free to run the world. So that's why this world is being taken from us. Because if it becomes free, then you know what we'll do? We'll just consume and eat and just take all of it, right? That's why the agenda or the world or the elites or whoever, the business people understand this transition. They're basically taking everything from us, and a central AI will be set up to control the world and run the world. And if this sounds like science fiction, it'll be fact within like 15 years. But in that world where everything becomes free, and not just physical things become free, I can go into a digital world, a metaverse, and I can have all the villas I want. I can have all the Ferraris I want. I can fly around like a dragon if I want. I can do whatever I want. It becomes free. I can just snap my finger and it becomes free to experience anything. I can go to Paris by myself. I can do whatever, right? So in that world where everything becomes free, you buying things and owning things will be made illogical. If anything, the world's economy will become a sharing economy where everything is shared. Like this room will be shared across society. And if somebody needs to use it after me, they'll just come in and they'll use it. And there will be an automatic value mechanism that charges my wallet to be able to use it, right? At the same time, the fact that we're taking all of the assets that exist in the real world and we're turning it into digital representations, that's going to take everything that's owned in this world and turn it into a one-click ownable asset in this new world, giving the ownership up to them, right? Crypto is central to all of that. Crypto and blockchain is the only way that this whole system works, because people need to own things. That's all NFTs and ownership-based assets. People need to transfer value to each other. That becomes crypto itself, and that's how the value gets transferred to everybody. Now, in that economy, wait a minute. So I don't have a job. I don't do stuff because robots do stuff. The stuff is produced basically for free. So me setting up factories doesn't even make sense unless I put robots in them. Then what am I doing? How do I make money, or how do I get rich, right? Or live a good life in that? First of all, the average person will be given universal basic income, which is just CBDCs transferred into the person's wallet. So they can use a certain subset of society. They can only use certain things within society that the government and central authorities will determine. That's already been set. The people who will make money in that economy are the people who own the computer systems and networks that run the world, right? And that's the secret. Today, what we are calling crypto are the companies that are setting up the networks where all of this value will flow. Bitcoin is one of those networks. XRP is one of my favorites for those networks. It's basically they're setting up the computers that all of these systems will use. Owning a coin is owning some of the production capacity of that computer. So basically owning a piece of the network, owning a piece of the internet. And if your internet is one of the internets that's used in this future, then you will automatically make money because the world will use your computers. And the same way when we use Google's computers, Google makes money. Now, if you own one of the coins to one of these computers, you will make. Or if you're rich enough or smart enough to set up the companies that have the factories or set up the restaurants that have the robots, like if you're the one who sets up the business with robots inside, you will make money. We will also be able to probably buy robots. Like I could take some money and hire some robots to go do work for me and they would pay, right? But it's the people who learn to use this technology and buy the stuff that runs this technology that will make money. Everybody else will lose the ability to make money. And this is not coming from me. This is coming from the documents themselves of the World Economic Forum and, a lot of the authorities out there. Go and do your own research. You can actually go to the World Economic Forum's website and go to, there's literally a whole agenda section that they have. And it's like a circle that you click and it shows you all the documents so you can do all your research on it. Okay. But my point is, economy completely shifts. In that economy, the ways of adding value to people's lives become infinitely capable and grow exponentially. And we are right now in the hockey stick curve part of that growth. We're going from the old world to this new world, and the AI is being invented, and crypto is being invented, and quantum computing is about to be invented, and robots are being invented. So you have to be somebody who knows how to transition your wealth from this old way of wealth to this new way of wealth. And that's what these crypto heads are up to. And that's why there's children becoming billionaires, right? Okay, so I've beat this dead horse. This exponential age is things are changing so fast. AI and robotics automate the work. When they do work, crypto crypto is the way that money gets paid back to whoever and gets paid in an incremental way. The metaverse is one of those things which I think people completely are underappreciating. And now that Apple Vision Pro has launched, it's going to become insane because people are going to start to see the potential of it. But right now, the world, the way we experience it is we experience a local world, a world where, we can only experience what's around us, or through Zoom and these screens, we can experience places that are somewhere else. As soon as you can put on a headset and literally experience anything around you, then locality as a concept completely disappears. That's why you're seeing that real estate prices are completely changing now because people don't need to go to the office to work. Locality as a concept shifted. People could just work from wherever they like. Expect that to continue in a massive way where you will be able to teleport yourself onto the moon if you want, and you can have your meeting on the moon. And locality as a concept disappears. Crypto is the value mechanism that functions within those digital worlds. So all of that considered, in this exponential age, what should you do? In the beginning of this exponential age, what are some things that we can do to benefit from this process? First step is exactly this. Learn about it. Right? Learn about what's going on, because if you're over the age of 40, this world is nothing like the world that you come from. Nothing. It just doesn't even make sense. You're used to a world or you were born and raised in a world where people used to pick up phones and call each other to get things done. And now I don't even have to talk to a person. I can just ask my AI to do stuff that used to take millions of dollars in teams to do, right? So learn about it. Don't be scared of it. A lot of people are like, AI is this horrible thing, or crypto is a scam, or you just write off these whole things and you're sitting there holding your US dollars while they're printing them out of existence. Or, the same way that when the internet launched, people resisted it. People were like, internet is not going to do anything. And then their businesses got wiped out as soon as within 7 years, the internet took over the world, right? So learn about each one of these things. Second thing I would love to recommend is like integrate it into your business, right? So as soon as AI came out, the day they launched ChatGPT, I just turned around to my team and I was like, every single process that we can automate, every single thing. Let's unlearn everything that we're doing and put this into every single process. And within like 3 months, every single thing we were doing in our business included AI inside of it, right? Crypto, like as soon as it came out, we started to participate in it, but also started to look at how you could add value to businesses, right? So here's one of the key things that's coming out for businesses over the next 3 years. Tokenization, real world tokenization, right? Basically right now a business needs money. So the business needs to go out and do stuff for people to earn money. Now, if the business had more money, they could do better and they could earn more money. The way they go get more money is they go to investors and get money. And so a founder would take their business, give away pieces of the business to raise money. That's the only way that's been available now. Give away equity in your business and raise money, or give away profits and raise money. Tokenization is a new way to raise money, first of all, where you take the same business and you break it up. Instead of 1 million shares, you break it up into 1 million tokens. So the founder still keeps the equity in the business. Now there's just 1 million tokens. That's like a new equity class that's been made accessible. Now the founder can sell $1 of his business instead of having to get, shareholders and it's stressful to go through the process of raising money the traditional way. A founder can turn their $1 million business into 1 million tokens and sell them for $1 each. And now a farmer in the middle of Borneo could go and buy $1 of a business and actually invest. That's the most simplest version of tokenization. But what tokenization also allows you to do is like, okay, let's say I have, which restaurant do you have? Sumo. Let's say you had Sumo, right? Let's say you're the owner of Sumo now. I love Sumo, right? Jay loves Sumo. We all love Sumo. So it's like, we want to support Sumo as a brand and as a restaurant. We're like champions of Sumo, right? So we want to be part of the community of Sumo. Or like the S21 here, the core, right? When you are part of the community and you want to support it, you would buy the token just to support it, first of all. Secondly, when you buy a token, you make money if the token goes up, right? So then like Bitcoin has no marketing, yet is one of the best marketing efforts in the world. Because once you own a Bitcoin, you're going to tell everybody to go buy a Bitcoin, right? Because then if everybody buys a Bitcoin, you make money on the Bitcoin. So the same thing happens with tokens, where the token, not only is it a share in the business, it becomes you become part of a community, a digital representation of a physical community. You become a champion, you start doing marketing for it, you start, hyping it up and telling people about it, and then telling everybody else to go participate. Now that token, you can build functionalities into that token, right? So you could have like, right now, I could make it so that this talk is only attendable by people who have the Sim token. Or the core could say, if you have this token, you get special access to different things, right? So now, instead of selling my business and giving away pieces to get money, I sold smaller pieces, got a bunch of money so I can scale my business. I built a community of dedicated followers who are willing to support the actual business itself. And then I built functionalities into my business that allow my business to have more value, right? So that's the idea of tokenization that's coming. And I know right now it doesn't sound like English. So as a business, tokenization is a gold mine, because the same way the internet being deployed into a business was the biggest opportunity that most businesses missed, the tokenization of businesses is going to be the next wave. And it's going to allow global liquidity, global investment to reach businesses across the world. And because blockchain is verifiable, you can trust that you're investing in a business. So that's huge. If you're a business owner, think about it. And most people these days are becoming business owners, right? Another amazing thing to do in this process is build the actual models. As soon as AI came out, I know 12-year-olds that figured out a way to use ChatGPT to do something valuable, and they make $100,000 a month. Same thing with these, crypto models and tokenization models. As the regulations become clear, think about how you could deploy these systems to add value. And I'll give you an example, right? There's a blockchain project here in Indonesia that made augmented reality art pieces and statues that you could put a QR code on a table and it would pop up with this like statue that you can see. Coffee shop owners put those QR codes onto their tables, and now they put a sign up saying, come check out virtual reality art. Download this app and you can check out virtual reality art. Now, foreigners started going to those coffee shops to Instagram the fact that they're seeing this moving art piece in this coffee shop. That drove so much more business to the coffee shop and actually made it a tourist attraction, right? And that's just with phones. Like, what about when, rich people with $3,500 headsets are looking to travel the world and there's nothing to service them, want to come to your coffee shop so that they can experience a digital statue, and you can put 1,000 of them all over your business. That's such a creative way of combining art and technology and these value models. And then those art pieces got turned into NFTs. So the coffee shop owner could just buy an NFT to have the rights to the art and would get a QR code to put down. And now that's adding value to people's lives. There's just an infinite number of different models that you can think about and deploy, right? One that we looked at and is being deployed as we speak is one of our friends took a hectare of rice and turned it into an NFT. When you buy the NFT, the cost of the NFT is the cost of funding the harvest of that rice for a year. So let's say it costs $3,000 for you to plant and harvest rice on that piece of land. You buy this NFT that costs $3,000. The money goes to the farmer. The farmer plants and does 4 harvests. And then the farmer pays back 45% of the profits to the NFT holder. So an NFT holder knows when I buy this NFT, I'm going to get this much profit in a year on this NFT. So it's the productivity of a piece of land that got turned into an NFT. That's just one model that's being worked on with the government. Right? So my point is, one of the ways you benefit is you become one of the people who build these things. If you're like, Sim, I'm 80 and I don't know how to use computers, then learn how to participate in this process. But if you're somebody who's like, yeah, but I still don't even know what to do. I don't even know how to, this still sounds too complicated. This is where the next most important step, which should technically be your first step, is to build a plan. Build a strategy, build a clear, cohesive action plan of how you're going to participate in this market. And this is what I've been doing with people, companies, and governments, basically helping them understand this landscape and helping them build actionable plans on how they can participate, how they don't lose their money, and then by that, as a result, how to actually make money and prosper in this whole process. And we're going to go into the details of how to build a plan, exactly what you should do. That's going to be part of these talks. So don't subscribe, just show up. Now we get to the investing part. Okay, as an investor, you can invest in these things. So how do you invest in these things? Right now, we are at the foot of the mountain of the bull run that's about to happen between now and 2026. And how do I know that? The bull runs happen because they print money. And we can, looking at how many debts the governments have, we can see how much money they're going to print. And over the next 2 years, they're going to print insane amounts of money. Okay, so the bull run is about to happen in that bull run, every bull run, there's a few hype sectors, right? There was the ICO bull run, then there was a DeFi bull run last time. Metaverse kind of got a little bit of a hype cycle pump, but not really. Metaverse is going to kick off this time with Apple Vision Pro and the actual deployment of the metaverse happening. So there's a few different hype areas, and here are the hype areas that I'm seeing. And this is not just me, Sim, seeing it. I literally hang out with like hedge fund managers and governments and banks and the biggest institutions, and they talk about specific things. And this is what they're talking. Number one, there are certain ecosystems which are building the framework that this future will be run on. Okay. Bitcoin is just Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the golden child. It's like gold. It doesn't do anything, but that's the whole point. It's just to hold and own and not lose your money. Ethereum is obviously a big ecosystem. There's thousands of different things being built on Ethereum, and there's a lot of tokenization projects are going on to Ethereum. Okay. So Ethereum as an ecosystem is amazing. My favorite ecosystem is the Solana ecosystem. Solana is still young and fresh. It's only gone through one cycle. And in the coins being developed, apps being developed inside of Solana that use the Solana computers are the talk of the town right now when it comes to hedge funds and these bigger investors. Okay, so that's a really big tip. Look into the Solana ecosystem, which means including buying Solana, but also buying the coins that are within Solana. Now, disclaimer, if you're a beginner and you buy any of these things, there's a 90% chance you're going to lose all your money. Okay. That's why I'm not going to tell you specific coins, because I know even if I tell you the coins, you will rush out, you will buy them without knowing what you're doing. You'll buy them at the wrong time. You'll freak out and you'll sell them and you'll lose all your money. Okay. So that's why having a plan is important. Ethereum ecosystem, still hot, but slowing down. Solana ecosystem, insanely hot. And actually, one of the things I look at is, okay, if I want to make money, right? In crypto, in investing, you don't make money. You take money. You take somebody else's money. So then you have to think like, okay, whose money do I want to take? Secondly, where are the people with the money putting their money? Because their money is the money that I'm going to take. That's the big money in the world. The biggest money in the world is being aimed at Solana. Solana as being one of the ecosystems. Solana is also World Economic Forum certified. When you actually look at the back end of how things are being built, Solana is massive. And the stuff that's being built within Solana, the ecosystem of Solana and the coins and apps that are being built in there are in their first bull run, which means they have insane amount of potential. Now, potential also means risk. Risk of losing your money is high. The risk of making money is high. But that's an ecosystem that's worth looking at. The Cosmos ecosystem, Atom, right, is their coin. Cosmos ecosystem is huge because Cosmos actually is built to connect together different blockchains. And the ecosystem within is the talk of the town, one of the talks of the town when it comes to the biggest investors and hedge fund managers and stuff like that. Also, it is one of the ecosystems that's being used to build the rails of this future. XRP is my favorite, as always, but I don't want to shill XRP. XRP and Ripple have been building the financial framework in the world and the rails. A little known one that most people don't even know exists is called R3. R3 is the company, Horda is the technology, and XDC is their token. I'm not saying it's going to pump like crazy. I'm not saying any of that stuff. All I'm telling you is these guys are building the rails and the frameworks that are going to be used in this future that we just talked about, in this exponential age future, right? Those are the ecosystems that I'm looking at. There's a bunch of other ones. You know, Polkadot has an amazing ecosystem that's worth looking at. Cardano has an amazing ecosystem that's worth looking at. But you get the idea. The solid ecosystems and the coins that are within it, insane potential there. AI cryptos. AI cryptos or AI infrastructure plays are going to be huge, and they're already being huge. We already, doubled, tripled people's portfolios just with one coin, and that's Render. And Render is decentralized GPU power. AI needs GPU power to run. We bought it last year, and people are already making tons of money on it. Because you could see if AI is going to be big, then the GPUs needed to run AI are going to be big, and so on and so forth. But also, the BitTensor ecosystem is being talked about a lot. That's basically the underlying hardware and the framework that's going to be used for AI. I'm not going to say specific ones, but just go and look at the AI ecosystems and the AI coins. And one pro tip is I tend to look at only the top 20 in the arena, because there's 20,000, 30,000 cryptos. Out of those, 90% are not worth investing in. So I just look at the top 20 to reduce my risk, because the top 20 tend to have like market caps of 100 million and above. So if somebody's put $100 million worth of money in there, technically market cap of 100 million doesn't mean that there's $100 million in there, but just go with me here. something that's being valued at $100 million means people with a lot of money have put their money inside, and they've probably done some due diligence to make sure it's okay. So the AI cryptos and the AI adjacent cryptos are going to have an insane amount of growth in this cycle because AI is such a hot net. Then there's metaverse plays. Metaverse plays last time got a decent bit of growth, but this time around, metaverse plays are going to crush it, especially with this whole Apple thing happening, right? What you want to look at is like, there are metaverses that are going to have amazing amount of growth. There are technologies that support metaverses. There are technologies that are part of building a decentralized metaverse, right? So in English, that means like metaverses. Last time, Sand and Mana, Sandbox and Decentraland were the metaverses that were hot, right? So those kind of metaverses are still going to get a lot of investment, but be careful with those because you don't know which metaverse is going to get used more, blah, blah, blah. Sand is amazing. Mana didn't look so good. Then there's the technologies that actually are used to run the metaverses. Those are going to be blockchains, but also ecosystems that are building metaverses. There's a name that's escaping my mind, but there's one main one that a lot of people are looking. Then there's the hardware that runs those metaverses. So same thing, like Render is a GPU power network, right? You can use it for AI, but you can also use it for running metaverses. So, or there's like Filecoin. Filecoin is a storage coin. So metaverses require storage. So for storing files, Filecoin would be exposed to it. But also storing files is just like for everything, right? Or like, metaverses that are connected to the real world will need real world data fed in, which something like Chainlink is so important in converting real world data to digital data and represented in the digital world. So Chainlink is metaverse adjacent. You get the idea. You have to look at like how the value is going to be added, and then you have to, if you're looking at these are going to be the hype cycles, this cycle is going to be hyped around these plays. Then you figure out how you want to position yourself. Final one is real world asset tokenization and water. It's important. You got to hydrate. Make sure you invest in water. Okay, tokenized water. There's water token. I bet there's a water token. Please don't buy the water token. That was a joke. Okay. Real world assets. I swear to God, no real world assets. Water is going to get tokenized like crazy. The wealthy have been buying up water across the world. It's not even funny. Like water is becoming the new gold. I digress. Real world asset tokenization is going to be a huge part of this shift, right? There, you want to look at tokenized real world assets, like tokenized real estate projects. We've tokenized mines. We've tokenized farm productivity. We just got done tokenizing commodity supply chains through a project called FarmSend. I am an advisor. I am shilling it. Do not buy it because I say it. I'm legally not allowed to tell you to buy it, but I know you're still going to go buy it. Thank you so much. But tokenized real world shit, right? Real estate, farms, businesses, brands being tokenized. Look at the actual things being tokenized and participate in those. Real world asset tokenization is a special one because, every conversation I've had with the biggest managers and the asset managers and sovereign wealth funds, they're like, look, we can't buy crypto. We can't buy your XYZ coin. We can't even buy Bitcoin, right? Until this ETF launched, they couldn't buy Bitcoin because their mandates do not allow them to buy things that are digital assets yet. So I asked them, I was like, what would you buy? Like, what is it that you would be able to buy? They're like, well, as soon as you guys bring like the same stuff that we buy in our traditional financial space to the digital space and the regulations become clear, we'll buy the shit out of it. Which is like, they buy real estate, they buy businesses, they buy stocks, they buy bonds, and they buy commodities, right? So that's why mines and all this stuff is commodities. Real estate is real estate. Stocks, all the businesses, when they get tokenized, are going to get turned into stocks. And the biggest players in the world are going to come to buy this stuff, right? So real world asset tokenization is going to be absolutely massive. Now, in this process, right? I just named 1,000 things and I just told you a bunch of crazy shit. And it's like, you're probably like, wait, this guy's talking about robotics and AI and water and like all this stuff, right? one of the biggest mistakes I've seen beginners make is you see something shiny, you buy it. You see something else shiny, you buy it. You see something else shiny, you buy it. Especially when your friend tells you to buy it, right? Remember this, if your friend is telling you, who is not a genius, right? And your friend is probably as dumb as you. Like, we're all idiots, right? We have friends just as dumb as us. And when they come to us and go, hey, Sim, you should buy this thing. And I'm like, why? What does it do? And my friend's like, I don't know. I just bought it. Why did you buy it? Because another friend told me. By the time the news reaches you, you are the sucker, right? The hedge fund guys, all these inner circles, they talk about these things way ahead of time. And now you're going to see the pump happen. And by the time you hear about it, it's too late. Okay, so please don't buy things because your friends tell you to buy it. They're telling you because they make money and it goes up. Or they're just excited and they love you and they're making a lot of money along the way and they just want to help you. But the other thing is, in that process, you pick up a little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of this. You don't know what any of them do. You don't know what the point of any of them is. You don't know when to buy them and you don't know when to get out, right? Sit down and think about a plan. And I have all this stuff available for free. I'm even building out my entire multi-$1,000 strategy stuff for free. And I'm going to give it away to people for free. So you'll be able to go through the exact process of building your own strategy. But build out a plan. And your plan should include, who am I? Am I a nervous person or am I a chill person? What is my life's goals? Am I just here to make money or am I trying to get my mom a house? How long am I going to play this game for? Am I here for 6 months or am I here for 60 years? And your plan should be 5 years or longer, in my opinion. How much risk do I feel comfy with? Am I putting it all on black or do I want to make sure that this money doesn't get lost because I'm, 60 years old and I can't lose this money? How much money can I put in? And I don't say how much money can you put in to lose, because that's not a smart way of setting your manifestations. It's how much money do I not need for the next, let's say, 4 years, and it would not change my lifestyle, right? And then in that amount, you determine how much of that money would I be willing to lose. And that amount is what goes into high risk stuff, and the rest of it gets spread out, right? So it's like all of these things, how much money am I going to put in? Okay, which country am I in? What kind of tax structure do I have? Then you get to, okay, where am I going to buy it? Which coins am I going to buy? How much of them do I buy? How do I buy them? How do I stay in the markets? How do I get out, take profits? How do I pay my taxes? How do I stay secure? Da, da, da. All of that. And I'm going to take you through that whole journey, but also give it to you for free. In the middle of that, when you get to the point of like buying stuff and you're like, what do I buy? How much do I buy? Blah, blah, blah. Spread yourself out in these different ecosystem or these different sectors, right? Don't just go all in on AI and have all your money put in one space. That's the idea of diversification that I like in the digital asset space. Have some safe bets, have your Bitcoins and your Ethereums and, the normal stuff. Then, have a little bit of AI. And that's why I loved Render, because I was like, wait a minute, there's a play. It's basically tokenized GPU power. GPUs are necessary for AI, GPUs are necessary for metaverse, GPUs are part of DPIN, which is, I'm not going to go too far in, that's hardware. Basically, buying something that connects to multiple different sectors gives me more security that it's going to go up. So if you're going to go into these sectors, pick ones from different sectors and put them together. If you're a beginner, don't buy more than like 7, because the human mind has a hard time keeping 7 things straight in our heads. And then, like Raoul Paul says, who's one of the patron saints of crypto, and he advises the biggest hedge funds in the world, don't fuck this up. Just don't fuck this up, right? And his thesis is simple. Like, right now, you have the biggest opportunity in history to make money. If you just buy some solid shit now and don't try to trade the market and don't try to be smart and do this and that, just don't fuck this up. Just relax. You know what they're doing? Here's what they're doing. They've been buying since like last year. Right? No, since October of 2022, they started buying. And they've just been buying and buying and buying and buying. It went up, they bought more. Bought more. And even today, they're buying. And they're just going to chill. And then when all the metrics start to turn, which we're going to show you at a later time and take you through that whole journey, when the metrics start to turn, some of them sell. Some of them don't even sell. Some of them wait for it to crash back down again and buy more when it goes low. Right? So the way you don't, like, I'll leave you with this reflection, right? The only person who can lose all of your money is you. The only person with the keys to lose all of your money is you. So you're the biggest fucking problem in your own life. I'm the biggest problem in my life. I cause all my own problems, right? The only person who can lose all of my money is me. How do I do that? I buy it here and I sell it here, right? That's the only way I can lose my, or I buy like a Luna and I buy some stuff that just collapses, right? If I buy solid stuff and I just don't do anything for years until the market is way higher, and my strategy is to just wait it out, and at some point I get out, I just make one move every 2 years. That's all that's needed to be done to not fuck it up. Okay. So I'm getting parched. Recap. We are in the craziest time in history. Growth has gone exponential already. The world is completely reskinning itself every 5 years. There's completely new technologies that are being used now, and within the next 7 years are going to take over the entire world the way the internet did before. If you learn how to participate in it, it'll be the greatest opportunity of your entire life. If you don't learn how to participate in it, you will own nothing and you will cry yourself to sleep. In this whole process, if you are a person who holds on to stability and normalness and the old world ways of doing things, forget about it. This world is chaos. It's going to come and go faster than you can. You just get used to being in the tumble dryer of change, right? If you try to hold on, you're holding on to something that's already gone. We still have 7 years to go through this process in a significant way, right? Within the next 7 years is when we're going to see these technologies deployed. In the middle of that, please don't lose sight of what actually matters. And what actually matters is living a good life. It's all just about, we're all of this investing in all this coins and things and all this is just so that, I can sit on the beach with Sharon and sip coconuts. Like that's all it's worth. So if I sacrifice my coconuts with her and I sacrifice sunsets because I'm stressing about all this stuff, then you're trading something that's too expensive for something that's not as worthwhile. Okay. So that I always like to leave on that message. So if this got mind blowing and confusing, I'm sorry. That's just how I talk. But hopefully next time you'll join and we'll go into deeper detail around some of these things and the data that we looked at. And in the meantime, don't forget the coconuts. So we'll see you next time.